We're doing a good ride review of the niche Aether. We rode this with Adidas Tactical ADVs, good old trusty Union Atlas, and Zobel's Adidas Responses, and we had a pretty good time. This is their all-condition, all-terrain mountain freestyle twin that I think probably fits the widest spectrum of riders out of all their twins. It's definitely a step up from the Wraith, as that's kind of their jib specialist. Then you look at the Crux, that's kind of their jump and pipe specialist, you know, kind of mountain freestyle specialist. Carver, you know, mostly camber. Then you have this hybrid rocker where you have, you know, check the on the table review, but you have just this forgiving hybrid rocker combination, along with some pretty aggressive edge hold that really shines for people who are looking for a mountain freestyle ride, places like the East Coast or out in Europe, or smaller resorts that freeze a lot and get hard. It's not just an icy snow specialist, but it is a very good all-rounder for doing just about anything. And let's get into the flop, the flex and pop. Ooh, yeah, feels a little like medium stiff in the waist, and then a little medium in the on the tip and tail. But on snow, what would you guys say? Like a lot softer, huh?
A lot softer.
Yes. Yeah, very buttery, very playful.
Sproing.
Also, you can see this has, you know, it's a little on the wide side, and it can fit. It's more of a mid-wide kind of ride, but it's not a total mid-wide. It can actually work with my size 9s as well as your 11s. And we all kind of met in the middle on this guy that's still forgiving, skids its turns easy, does not catch an edge that easy. You know, every board still can if you try hard enough. You know, you can catch an edge, but this does not, and not that easy. And I liked it. I would say though that I did notice like one footing and flat basing, especially coming off like the Wraith or the Crux. This just didn't quite have that stability. You know, it has that little bit of the looseness in the hard snow, and as the snow gets softer, it starts to stabilize and stops doing this, and then one foots and flat base is easy. But it's something that's so easy to get used to, and there's so many other boards with this. This is on the mellower side of the hybrid rocker. It just seems like it doesn't come up that high, and check the on the table review to see, and doesn't go down that low. And that seems to be a consistent theme with all the niche boards I've tried. Wood bends differently board to board, but they've managed to keep it, the fluctuations more on the downside. So I like that. Edge hold now. Oh,
Next level.
Next level. Just some serious shit here. Look at that crinkle cut French fry. Aggressive. One of the problems with this is in really soft, thick, wet snow, it can be a little grabby. But today we weren't feeling it that bad.
Felt great today.
Yeah, and we've ridden a lot of magnet tractions though, so we've been acclimatized to that. But if you're coming off this after your first, you know, coming off of just a traditional side cut and going to this, there might be a learning curve. But if I'm on the East Coast, or if I'm riding on a really icy day, this is a great choice. And turn initiation, I felt it was medium-ish. How'd you guys think of it? With bigger feet.
Yeah, I liked it. It was pretty responsive on the turns and starting in.
Yeah, so for 9s and 9-ish, you know, people like me, very medium, you know, not a fast edge-to-edge kind of board. But for you guys, I would say, like, if you start getting 10 and above, I bet you'd start to feel this is like medium fast. Yeah. Right?
I seem to like it. I didn't feel any like lagginess from it, so.
Cool.
Good turn initiation.
Yeah. And then the turning experience, what'd you guys think?
I liked it a lot. The magnet traction definitely made it. I liked it.
No, I'm not. I'm
Yeah, no. So I really liked the turning experience. It was the magnet traction, just like it brought back that edge.
It smelled good.
Yeah,
the edge hold that you really want out of like a camera board for that kind of turning initiation, and it brought the reverse rocker into reverse camber into that with that magnet traction just made it a more fun, energetic turning experience.
Yeah, it might not have the spring out of a turn of a camber board, but in hard snow, it will hold and carve harder in harder conditions than a camber, like a traditional side cut camber board would. As far as speed goes, it's okay. It's a little, you know, a little bucky and bouncy, but it's got some mountain speed to it for sure. It's pretty damp. They're light, but they're not too light to be just a chattery mess. They've got this nice balance between being light and poppy and damp. You know, switch, great either way.
Yeah,
it's a true twin.
True twin.
And I like this little, you know, shape here. I like the aesthetic. I've never ridden this in powder, but this is, you know, this has a little rise. It seems like it would be a competent powder rider for those who don't set it back. If you set it back, you want the story. That's just definitely the call. You're gonna compromise in riding switch and having a more centered ride. It's gonna be more directional, but in powder days, you can set that back and get so much more directional float. It's just such a better board for directional float and powder. However, if you like a, you know, like a twin approach to powder riding like this guy does, you and I, we kind of like a little setback or surfy. Yeah. Jimbo likes it, like just keeps it the same, rides switch and powder just as much as he rides regular. It's quite impressive and fun to watch. And this is the kind of board for that guy. As far as park goes, I think it, you know, I'll let you guys kind of lead the charge here.
I mean, I took it through the park today, warm up run on a park I'd never seen. But it handled itself well on the jibs and a little couple of the little side hits and stuff we hit. So again, the, you know, reverse camber will lend itself well to jibs and features and stuff like that. It can even handle itself well on the pipe and jumps with the carving ability. So it's not going to be like super big jumps or big pipe or anything, but it's all around intermediate kind of park board.
It carried me well down the pipe.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, and I thought like the same thing, like for a mid-wide rider, like for jibbing, this would be fine with me. As far as pipe, for my size boots, I'd like to be on the 53 or even smaller. So if you're like me, maybe not the best pipe board,
on the way
but
out.
It's got the edge hold, it's got the drive from wall to wall, it's got all those things. Just transitioning back down just wasn't ideal. It was a little slow for me, but very doable. And if you're bigger foot, yeah. This is why we recommend this so much. It's just a great mid-wide kind of all-rounder for anybody who wants to do everything except set it back in powder.
Watch out, watch out. Should we try to do